The human admiral and the Ateso ambassador walked down the halls of the top-secret human research base. Normally this would be a nerve-wracking experience for the ambassador of any species, for walking in the heart of the homeworld of any race is both an honourable experience and a diplomatic nightmare for anyone. The different climate, culture and people, and the added risk of offending the entire race by doing something stupid and insulting on their homeworld that nurtured and grew them, is an ever-looming threat to any diplomat, let alone being in one of their secret bases, where their own people are scarcely allowed. Now imagine being the only member of your race in a research or military base, or one of the most fierce and feared races in the entire galaxy. A race that controls more of the galaxy than the entirety of the rest of the Galactic Council combined. And that too, on their homeworld. But the Ateso ambassador was not afraid. She was calm, and she was smiling, giggling softly, at least the equivalent of her race, at the human admiral. She was clearly enjoying, at his expense, poking fun of him from time to time. "Are you okay, dear? Are you sure you don't have what your people call fever? You are, what do you call it? Ah, yes, sweating, in spite of the ambient temperature being acceptable to your race." The human admiral replies, No, I'm perfectly fine. I'm totally fine." Even though it was clear he was sweating bricks, the collars of his uniform wet from perspiration. A few cycles ago it was the opposite. The human admiral had proudly held his shoulders and his head high, while showing the Ateso ambassador the war capabilities of his race, the hundreds and thousands of capital ships, the millions of fighters, the billions of soldiers and countless weapons of destruction, ready to unleash hell upon anybody and any race that dared antagonize the human race. Oh, how scared the Ateso ambassador was, and how much the admiral had enjoyed seeing her absolutely shocked and horrified expressions. He even laughed heartily to his comrades when he got the news she had soiled her undergarments by the end of the trip. And she made sure to make him apologize, profusely, several times over in the next cycles that followed. No, humanity had never lowered its head, and no, the Ateso Republic had not done anything extraordinary to scare the humans. It was only the admiral who lowered himself. And lower himself he did, but only for the Ateso ambassador. For these two were now in love. Being of different races never stopped them. Neither did their duties to their respective species, nor the prospect that having children was nigh impossible for them due to genetic differences. Every now and then, the ambassador peeked at her to admire her beauty, and she made sure to mercilessly poke fun at him for it. The admiral was nervous, although he had no reason to be. He had full access to the station, and very few humans had a higher rank than him. So few, in fact, that they can be counted on Ateso fingers, and they have 6 in each hand. As they finally reached their destination, and entered an archive room, the admiral finally mustered the courage to speak. "Ambassador, The ambassador interrupted him and said, "Oh, come on, my love. You know I don't like being called that when no one is around." The admiral spoke. "Sorry, Ambassador. I mean, Zierra." "That's more like it, my precious admiral." So, as I was saying, the admiral collected himself and started speaking. "I have brought you here to show you something sensitive." "My great Ulfi, how many secrets do you humans have?" "Hey, I told you more than you should know, alright?" "So have I, John." "Right. But this is a well-guarded secret of our people, so hear up. We finally have authorization to tell you and your people," the admiral says sternly. "I am listening, my dear admiral," Zierra speaks, doing her best to flirt like a human. "Get serious, Zierra. This is actually important," the admiral says, in a stiff and stern voice. "Oh, okay." The Ateso ambassador quickly breaks out from her flirting. When humans, one of the most human-loving species in the galaxy, tells you it is serious, It is serious. Remember, Sierra, the reason I am showing you this is because your people are one of our most trusted allies, and I trust you with all my heart. I might be breaking a few protocols by showing it to you early, and even abusing my power, but it's almost time. Ambassador Sierra nods, clearly getting worried why her partner is so serious all of a sudden. What do you know of the planet beneath our feet? The Admiral asks.
Why, it's your cradle world, the place where your species evolved to be what they are today, just like what Atesia is to us. You call it your blue and precious planet, even if most of the galaxy calls it a hell world.
Ambassador Sierra says, proud of her knowledge about her lover's homeworld. Here's the thing. It's not. Admiral John replies coldly.
What? What do you mean by that?
This is not our home, my love. This is not our cradle world. This is not where our ancestors used to live.
What? Then where is your real homeworld?
Admiral John turns and powers on the screen before him. With a gesture of his hands, he opens a star chart. See this blue dot?
Yes, that is the world we are on, right?
Yes, but this is not our homeworld. He gestures his hands to zoom out, and the star chart now shows the entire galaxy with artificial borders to demarcate the spaces of various races. The human empire covering half of the galaxy and fractured into various factions. And this is not our empire. He then gestures his hand multiple times to zoom out to show thousands and thousands of galaxies in one frame, all covered in the same transparent color as the human space, with tiny particles of other colors in between, showing human allies. All the while, Ambassador Sierra's eyes widen more and more. This is the human empire. Ambassador Sierra's jaw drops in horror as she asks,
When did you...
I am not done yet. Admiral John zooms in to the very center of the screen, and finally stops when a lone white spiral galaxy fills on the screen. This is our home galaxy, the Milky Way. It is thousands of light centuries away. Then he zooms upon an outer arm, marked as Orion Arm, then onto a system marked as Sol, and finally, the third planet from the Sun. This is our real blue planet, our second mother, our cradle world, and the place of our ancestors. This is the real Earth. The visuals were absolutely stunning. Billions of spaceships flew by and hundreds of space stations surrounded the blue jewel in the crown of humanity.
What is that in the background?
Ambassador Sierra asks. That is the Dyson sphere surrounding our star. It needs replacement, to be honest. Admiral John smiles proudly.
You have Dyson spheres in your home system?
Almost all human systems do. The ones in this galaxy are on the fringes. As you saw, we haven't gotten around to build them yet.
Isn't that the galaxy that scientists say an unusually high amount of radiation comes out from, and the one with an unusual number of supernovas, and the one which is said to eat nearby galaxies?
Yes, that radiation is the leakage from our system, and the supernovas are due to our star destroyers that cause the stars to go explode, and the disappearing galaxies are due to our star devourers. They're steal stars from nearby galaxies and bring them to our galaxy to be harvested.
You're what now? You know what? I should not even be surprised at this point.
Looks like I've rubbed off on you.
You most definitely have, my love. So why you show me this in private? I did not bring anything to make reports.
Oh, no. It will be a few cycles before we release this information to the public. Even our own people know nothing as of yet.
Your own people don't know? How? How do you hide this information from so many people?
This planet, like uncountable others, was first thoroughly terraformed to resemble our home planet. Then the first colonists who were brought here were brainwashed, and had their memories altered to believe that this is in fact Earth. And massive propaganda campaigns were run to make people believe the fact we are part of something greater is an urban myth. Once a fringe colony reaches a civilization 1.5, or the Empire's borders start creeping into the colony's sphere of influence, we disclose the information to the public, and begin incorporating them into the Empire.
But why?
You see, this colony was established independently, hundreds of years ago, without the help of the main empire. This colony wanted to be far away from the central human empire. We, back then, had no Dyson spheres, so we could not risk private colonies going deep into space and encountering a much more advanced civilization that might be hostile to us, and then giving up our homeworld's location. So we opened up portals and dropped off the colonists here, after we had brainwashed them and terraformed the planet. There's more to it, but that's the summary.
That makes sense. So, are you from the main human empire?
Yes, Sierra. I am from Mars, the planet next to our homeworld. I was sent here to begin the process of incorporation. Our empire's uplifting fleet will arrive in about 10 cycles.
But why are you telling me this? Even your own people don't know. Why do I know this before them, John?
I might be punished for this, Sierra, but I don't care. I want my marriage to be held on Earth, not in this backwater colony. So my question is... The Admiral gets on his knee and brings out a ring. Will you marry me?